emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phatts TV on this Thursday night, September the 24th. Another nice day in this area. Joining me, as always, is the non-genetically proven Sun from his underground bunker location in and amongst the liberal elites.
Let's say Biden's right over there.
How is the weather where you are at today?
I think it was like mid-70s, a little warm for my taste.
Yeah, at this time of the year, it was a little warm. It was kind of cloudy down this way today. Was it at least sunny up that way or not?
Yeah, it was sunny all day.
Yeah, well, it wasn't quite this way. We have the remnants of Hurricane Beta going to our south.
Beta?
Yes, it's the second time ever since they've started naming storms that they had to go to the Greek alphabet.
Cool.
That's a lot of storms if they have to get to the Greek alphabet.
That's a lot of names.
That is a lot of names. So, it's being a Thursday night, we're going to be talking a lot about sports, but before we get to sports, let's talk politics as usual.
Woo!
So, word broke that this Saturday, El Presidente is releasing his Supreme Court pick.
Big, what?
What?
Big Portnoy, El Presidente.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Portnoy Phatts. 2024. That'd be pretty cool. So I had heard the pick is coming at 6 o'clock. Don't know if that's true or not. 6 o'clock is usually a weird time. It's normally during the day. Because he's supposed to be in Pennsylvania at the Harrisburg International Airport at 7.
Yes.
If that pick is at 6, I don't think he's making it to Harrisburg by 7.
8.
8, yeah. There's a chance that PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun will be at that rally. How about that? If it is, I'll live stream some of it at least until my phone goes dead or my tablet goes dead. That I'll certainly have that day.
I said I'm losing a minimum of 10 people on Snapchat. Because I'll post about it.
I'll take the over on that.
Over under of what, 9.5?
If you set the how many people will I lose on Snapchat at 9.5, I will definitely take the over on that one. That is
3.5?
for sure. So this Tuesday is the first of the presidential debates. And to tie this in a little bit with sports, and I'm talking to the non-genetically proven Sun here, that Fox Sports has an app that you have to, they have it for soccer, the English Premier League, they have it for football for Sunday night, they have it for auto racing, that Super 6 or whatever they call it.
Try NBC, but okay.
What? No. This is a Fox thing that they do. Okay, so you didn't know that, and yes, what I'm talking about is NBC. Well, Fox has one too, and they're going to be doing where you have to pick 6 different things about the debate coming up.
and you win money.
$25,000 is first place.
Nice.
The article that I have up only has 2 of the possible 6 questions. And it's question 1 is, which greeting will President Trump and Joe Biden do first? Shake hands, fist bump, elbow bump, air 5, or none? Or other?
Shake hands, I would hope.
Usually that's what happens. In the year of COVID-19, who the hell knows what's going to happen? You would think, though, if there's any 2 people on the planet that's going to be tested for COVID before the debate, it's going to be them.
Hey, I was listening to something in the car today that you listened to.
Okay.
Hannity.
Every now and then I turn on Hannity.
It was on and I was listening to it.
Yeah.
It was going on about a big warning. Vote Biden and we're screwed, basically.
That's what Hannity does. Usually I listen to Will Cow more than anything. He's on from noon to 3 on Patriot Radio.
It was just on the radio, one of the Nittany Lion stations.
Got ya. Another possible question is, which person will be the last to say the word America? Joe Biden, President Trump, Chris Wallace, who's moderating the debate, or other? So, just happened to find that a little bit interesting that they're doing this for $25,000.
Yeah, they're going to make it so it's all but impossible.
Well, no, it's $25,000. It's not like it's $25 million.
So wait, during the debate, so does that mean until they're done, until the show is done?
It depends what the questions are. Like, the first question was, who was the first? Or who was the last? Or what?
If it's till the show is done, it's going to be other. Because
Maybe.
one of the anchors will say it probably.
Well, yeah, but they mean till the debate is over.
Trump, I would hope, again.
Well, actually, if that question, I might bet Chris Wallace because he's going to be the last to speak.
Okay.
Because usually the moderator is the last one to speak before they go off the air.
Does the moderator say who wins?
No. No, they have spin rooms that take care of that.
The media decides who wins.
Yeah, actually. So, do not forget, next Tuesday we have a special start time of Phatts TV, 9:15, not 7 o'clock, as usual. 9:15, because Lord knows we'll be talking about the debate as it happens live. That is must-see YouTube podcast TV. Not to say that the non-genetically proven son will be joining me. He probably will. But even if he doesn't, I will be doing it. Also, don't forget, on Election Day, I will be live streaming starting at about 5 o'clock Eastern Time and going all throughout the night.
So about after you vote, that's about it.
No, I'll vote long before that because I have off that day of work. So I'll probably go down around noontime to vote.
You have off every day, let's be honest.
No. Not this week. Not this week. I worked long past my normal quit time this week.
I go outside more than you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So, good old President Trump was asked a question yesterday, and this has been now all plastered all over the news for the last 24 hours. I actually watched the press conference as it happened. One of the people asked him, basically the question was, will you peacefully transfer power after the election?
Oh.
And the president answered, we will see. So, of course, the media jumped all about it. Oh, he's not going to transfer power, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a fight. He's going to have to be drug away by the Secret Service or the military, blah, 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 blah. The idiot that asked the question didn't ask, if you lose, will there be a peaceful transition of power? He said, after the election, will there be a peaceful transition of power? As if it's a foregone conclusion that Grandpa Smelly Girls Joe is going to win.
Right.
Now, if you believe the polls, he's certainly going to win. I have some of the polls up here. Fox News released about 2 hours ago, released a couple polls. Actually, it was 1 hour ago. It was at 6 o'clock. In our state of Pennsylvania, they have Biden up by 7. And as I always tell you, you have to look at the guts of the poll.
Right.
To see what's going on. So I happen to have the guts of the poll.
You're going to say Philly?
Actually, it doesn't break out that, but it does break out people who identify as Democrats and people who identify as Republicans.
Okay.
And that is 50 to 42. 50% of the polls respondents were Democrats, 42% were Republicans, and 8 other. So by saying that, that means Trump is pulling in support from other political parties other than Republicans if he's only supposedly down by 7 and they're surveying Democrats 8 percentage points more than Republicans.
Right.
Now, in the state of Pennsylvania, there's about 800,000 to 900,000 more registered Democrats than there is Republicans. It used to be a lot more. It used to be 11 to 13% more 4 years ago. So Republicans have made inroads. Now, using your brain, which everybody has, even though most of you don't want to use it, how could Republicans, after winning the state in 2016, pick up more registrations, plus 100,000? Democrats have lost 10 or 20,000 the last time I looked, but yet Biden is up by 7.
I saw something that the FBI is getting involved with Pennsylvania.
Yes, the FBI is getting involved in Pennsylvania, and I will talk about that momentarily.
Always leading you in.
Yes, yes. Let's talk about Ohio.
Ohio.
Now, this I found interesting.
Okay.
As you know, if you're a watcher of the show, I say, obviously, Trump has to carry Ohio if he has any hopes of winning. If he does not carry Ohio, just turn the TV off. He's not winning the election. He won Ohio by 8.5 points 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is more than a typical Republican will win that state by. To be honest, it's usually less than that when they carry the state. But a look at the breakdown of that poll showed me something very interesting. According to this poll, they actually had 46% of respondents registered as Republicans and 44% registered as Democrats. I found that very, very interesting. Basically, you never see a poll that has more Republicans than Democrats.
So does it actually have Trump up?
No, it has him losing by 5.
Huh.
Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. He's not losing by 5 in Ohio. He is winning in Ohio. He will carry Ohio on Election Day. But that is going to be a bellwether. If he wins the state by 8.5 again, he's fine. If he wins the state by 4 or 5, if he wins the state by 2, he's in trouble. If he loses the state, like I said, just turn off the TV. The party is over. And we get a guy that likes to smell children as our president. So, interesting. But yes, the FBI is getting involved in the state of Pennsylvania because there were 9 ballots found thrown away that were overseas ballots. from Luzerne County, which is up near the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area. 7 of those ballots were for Trump. The other 2 were already sealed by the time the FBI got there. So now there's going to be an investigation on how these ballots got to wherever they were found. The Justice Department is currently investigating what happened to 9 military mail-in ballots that were discarded in Pennsylvania. At least 7 of the ballots were cast for President Trump, while the other 2 were sealed before the FBI removed them. The incident touched widespread concerns about election integrity. It is vital duty, blah, 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 blah. The district attorney for Luzerne County requested the investigation, which involves cooperation from the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Her office claims it opened the investigation after hearing about issues surrounding the ballots last week. So we'll have to see where that goes. Now, we all know there's a bunch of shenanigans going on in this battleground state that we are in. You did hear me say on the last show, in the last 2 shows, that our lovely judicial Supreme Court has extended the ballot deadline 3 days.
So why hasn't the Supreme Court stepped in on that?
Well, they haven't been asked to yet.
Yet.
They won't be asked to till after the election. And
you're getting involved in this election.
Oh yeah, yes. Which you and I have to talk about a EFT that I want you involved in about a week before the election comes, because you're definitely going to make money on it.
EFT?
Yeah, it's not like it's... The EFT goes up when there's fear.
Oh.
And you know it's going to go sky high around election time.
Right.
It's at around $21 a share right now, and when the market crashed last March, it got up to like 108, I think was the high it got up to.
Yeah, I don't even look at my stock market a lot because it's bad.
Yeah, I know.
It's bad.
Yes. So now so the Supreme Court ruled that there's going to be a 3-day extension. Now, it goes right against the law of Pennsylvania, which says all ballots must be in, for mail-in ballots or absentee ballots with the exception of military ballots, have to be in the county election board's office by 8 o'clock on election night. No ifs, no ands, no buts. So the Supreme Court basically now made up their own law. Judicial activism at its finest. Very interesting, though. The Supreme Court did something else, which shocked the living hell out of me, meaning the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. When you request an absentee ballot or when you mail in your ballot, you actually, in the state of Pennsylvania, have to put it in 2 envelopes. There's a secrecy envelope and then a regular envelope. The secrecy envelope basically hides all your information because obviously you have to sign the ballot.
Right.
And it's got your information on the ballot. So it has to go into what's called a secrecy envelope and then the regular envelope. If the ballot does not come with the secrecy envelope, it's supposed to be thrown away, not counted. That's the law. Now, you would think that the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania would say, no, we're going to allow that to happen because, let's face it, more Democrats are going to vote by mail than Republicans will. Shockingly, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said, no, we're not allowing those votes to be counted. Shocked I was that they said no to that. Election officials, especially down around Philadelphia, says that could cost the Democrats 100,000 votes or so. So you're going to tell me that in the state of Pennsylvania, there's 100,000 people that are dumb enough not to read the instructions to put the vote in the 2 envelopes that are provided. It's not like you got to go get these envelopes. When you request a ballot, you are sent these 2 envelopes with your ballot. I guess they don't know how to read English and or Spanish, because obviously there'll be Spanish on the instructions as well. I don't know. Idiot. More or less.
Well, what people will do is they'll take it out, sign it, fill it out, put it in the envelope, and never read the instructions.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And see this other envelope, be like, I don't know what this is.
Uh-huh. So yes. So any ballots that come into the election offices that are not in the secrecy envelope are to be discarded and not counted. Shocked by that. Which you could understand if the Supreme Court had allowed it, how fraud could run all over the place. You know, because all of a sudden now you could just get regular envelopes, put your ballot in the envelope and send it off.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's bad enough that one of the things the Supreme Court also ruled is usually if your signatures don't match, the ballot gets discarded and not counted. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania says you cannot discard the ballot just based on the signature not matching.
Okay.
Now, I don't know anybody else's whose signature looks like mine. So, let's see here. I guess I could request a ballot for my father who died 14 years ago and fill it out.
Right.
And since his signature won't match my signature, doesn't matter. Huh? What? Excuse me?
Right.
Alex Robinson is watching us tonight. He says he can't wait to see Ohio State and Penn State.
I'll be outside the stadium.
God willing.
Yeah.
God willing. So, without further ado, let's turn it to some football and the Phatts Fantastic Five for this week. So, we're going to go over each game, but we're going to show our picks first, and then we'll go over each game to see what else we might like. So we'll start with the non-genetically proven son. He is 5-5 on the year.
Better than you.
Yep, at the moment.
And I watch less football, which is hilarious.
He actually took a college game this week. He's got the Tennessee Volunteers. Go Rocky Top. -3 playing South Carolina.
Yes.
He's got the over in tonight's game, Jacksonville, Miami, over 48.5. He's got the Patriots -5. He's got the Steelers -4. And he's got Seattle -5.5.
Yes.
Do you know which of these picks is your favorite? Like, if you had to pick one for your life, which one would you pick?
New England.
New England. Okay, why?
They're playing the Raiders at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Raiders have a better record than New England does.
They do.
Yes.
I think. See, you ask me why. Don't watch this stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Raiders are obviously very good. I think they got lucky last week.
I don't know. I thought they looked pretty good against New Orleans.
But we also said that they might win that game.
Yeah, we did. We did. All right. So let's look at my picks and
Who's going to win by more than 5?
and my picks suck so far.
2-8.
They're 2-8. I have the Giants getting 4 at home against San Francisco, and we'll talk about why. I also like the Patriots getting 5 at home. I like the over in the LA Rams Buffalo game, over 47. I like Dallas getting 5.5, so we're going head-to-head on that game.
Yeah.
And I like your Packers getting 3 on Sunday Night Football at New Orleans.
Yeah.
So as usual, I got some dogs in there. 3 dogs, 1 over, and 1 favorite. Now, if I had to pick one game that I have to bet to like, I would also take New England. We're going to find out this week if, obviously, New England has a phenomenal record over the last 18 years or so, 15 years, whatever, coming off of a loss. They win roughly 75% of the time coming off of a loss. So we're going to see this week, is that Bill Belichick that gets the team ready off of a loss? Or was it Tom Brady who would focus more coming off of a loss? Since, as you know, Tom Brady's no longer with New England.
Right.
But I think, personally, this is a very bad spot for Vegas. They're coming off of a Monday night game. They're going to have to travel cross-country. Now, the travel cross-country usually doesn't hurt them because actually the Raiders typically play well over the last few years on the East Coast. And they're coming off an emotional win because that was their first game at their new stadium, even though there was little to no fanage there. So those are my plays for the week. Hopefully, I have a winning week.
I'm surprised I did not see the Eagles game in there.
You know, I thought about taking that game as well. And when we get to it, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So that is the Phatts Fantastic 5 for the week. So, let's look at some of the games. So tonight, we have Miami at Jacksonville. Kicks off in a little less than an hour. Jacksonville is a 2.5 point favorite. And the over-under it's now up past 48.5, but we use for our picks the lines as of noon on Thursday. So we'll just stick with 48.5. Any opinion on this game other than the fact that you like the over? First off, why do you like the over?
I believe Jacksonville's been putting up points.
They have. They average roughly 28 points a game, 29 points a game.
They're probably going to give up points as well.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
I will say, I heard this stat, and I didn't get a chance to go see if it's true, but through 2 weeks of the season, more points have been scored than any other year in the National Football League.
Okay.
Which is surprising because you would think with no exhibition games that they would be a little more low scoring, that the defenses would have advantages.
This week.
What?
Now every game goes under this week.
But right, you would think that the defense would have advantages. But the offense has had the advantage. I think, obviously Jacksonville is playing way over their head. They were projected to be the worst team in the league.
And they're 2-0, right?
No, they're 1-1. They lost by 3 in Tennessee last week.
Okay.
Miami wasn't supposed to be that great either. In the pool that I run, you have to pick every game. I took Jacksonville giving the 2.5. I think, though, either team could win this game. Typically, teams that are 0-2 usually play a little harder. Because basically, if you go 0-3, the chances of you making the playoffs become slim to none. Even though, don't forget, they're taking one more playoff team this year in each conference. Let's move along. We got Tennessee at 2-0, going up to Minnesota, who is a very surprising 0-2. Tennessee is a 2.5 point road favorite, and the over-under is 49.5. You got any opinions on this game?
No, but I think Minnesota's going to win.
I don't have much of an opinion on this game either. You would think, again, based off of just what I said, Minnesota being 0-2 playing at home, they're going to try all out in this game. They got some injuries, and don't forget, their best wide receiver from last year no longer is on the team, and it looks like it's mattered the first 2 weeks. They looked awful last week in Indianapolis. Awful. If there's a word worse than awful, you could say it for Minnesota. San Francisco on the road as a 4-point favorite at the Giants, with the over-under the same as it was last week when they played the Jets in the same stadium at 41.5. Now, I know when you and I were talking a little bit before the show, you had thought about putting this game into your Fantastic Five.
Yes.
And then I kind of talked you out of it.
Yes.
Because of all the injuries that San Francisco has. Yes, I know you didn't know that. There is a good possibility that their entire defensive line does not play in this game. They will have to start all backups on their defensive line.
The problem is they're probably still better than New York's offensive line.
No. I would doubt that. There's no guarantee that San Francisco's quarterback is playing. He only played the first half last game, then he went out with an ankle injury. Their running back is out. One of their cornerbacks or their safety is out. Tons of injuries. Now, on the Giants side, Saquon Barkley out for the year with ACL injury, and I believe was his meniscus partially torn as well, or it's
just ACL.
Yeah. So I took the Giants as one of my picks. San Francisco did not like the field. They actually complained to the league that the field was too sticky, and that's why they suffered all these injuries last week.
How can the field be sticky?
I don't know.
Syrup?
I don't know.
The drops of syrup on the field?
So I took the Giants getting the 4. A good play, though, for this game, for those of you that like to put a few shekels, and as you know, in our state, gambling is legal, and there's tons of websites where you could gamble on. Trust me. Our friends up at Barstool just launched their app last week. So now you could bet through Barstool Sports. Speaking of El Presidente.
There you go.
Yep. One of my best bet for this game is once prop bets usually come out on Friday, I will take, as long as it's a fair number, the over in Daniel Jones's passing yards, the quarterback for the Giants. Again, if San Francisco's whole defensive line isn't playing, you would think he'll have more time to throw the ball in this game.
And he doesn't have Saquon to hand.
And he doesn't have Saquon to hand the ball off to. Very good. Good,
So,
astute comment.
They
They did sign Devontae Freeman this week, but he probably won't, be up to snuff yet this week. He'll get some snaps, but not a full game's worth. Cincinnati goes on the road to possibly one of, if not the most surprising 0-2 teams this year, the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's fine if they're 0-2. They could be 0-3, and I'd be very happy.
Philly is a 5-point favorite, and the over-under is 46.5. Now, we'll go to you first. If you have to play this game, what would you play?
I have a feeling you would play the under.
Ha! Wrong. Wrong.
Really?
Yes, I would play the over in this game.
Why?
Philly's defense, god awful so far. Just like last year, god awful. Cincinnati can't stop anybody on the ground. They gave up 200 and some yards to Cleveland on the ground.
You got a problem with Cleveland? They're winning the Super Bowl.
If I play this game, and it's a good bet that I do play this game, I would play the over 46.
And 17-10.
It's possible. Now, the side, you would think if Philly is going to win a game by a lot, it would be this game.
No,
Again, they're playing a rookie quarterback making his second career road start. Now, that's why I liked Cleveland last week. And Joe Burrow threw the ball as a rookie, first road start, 61 times.
What?
61 times, and they covered by a point. Because they went 5 for 5 on fourth downs. So they kept 5 drives going by converting on fourth downs.
A lot of fourth downs to go for.
Yes. Yes. So,
Some teams you 5 in a whole year.
yeah. So the side in this game is a little tough for me. I mean, I could see the Eagles winning by double digits. I could see the Eagles winning by 3. I don't see the Eagles losing this game.
No, they're going to lose by 20. Joe Burrow's going to pull an LSU and score 60. Okay?
Okay. They might if he could get his LSU teammates from last year.
Maybe.
On we go. Chicago is on the road to Atlanta. Atlanta is a 3.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 47. Atlanta coming off I don't know how to defend an onside kick.
I remember just seeing that game. I was on the golf course the whole 10. I'm just like, oh, well, Atlanta's going to win, blah, blah, blah. Because they're up, what, almost 20?
They were up 15 with like 5 minutes to go.
And I'm like,
something like that.
It was like the third quarter. I'm like, oh, Atlanta's going to win. Then, like, 3 holes later, I'm like, Dallas just scored. They're within, 10. They just scored again. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, to watch that onside kick, it was like Atlanta didn't know that they could touch the ball before it went 10 yards.
They didn't because they watched it go 10 yards.
Yeah. Either that or they were told only one guy could touch the ball, all the rest have to block, and they didn't block, they just watched. It was the weirdest thing. I will guarantee you they spent a good amount of time in onside kick coverage this week in practice. Now, a stat that I heard, that was the first time ever that a team scored 39 or more points, had 0 turnovers in the game, and lost.
Yeah.
In the history of the NFL. So who do you like this week in this game? If you like anybody, or do you like the over-under?
I don't know what the Bears' defense is. Are they any good?
Well, they beat Detroit, which they should have lost to Detroit, and they beat the Giants. The Giants had a chance to win on the last play of the game and threw an incomplete pass.
So I'd say the over on this game.
Okay. I am taking Atlanta to cover the 3.5.
Okay, I was going to say because Atlanta has given up some points.
Yes.
But they put up points. So.
Yes, they have. They got crushed by Seattle, and they gave up 40 points in both of their games so far. Now, let's face it, Chicago doesn't have the offense that Seattle or Dallas has.
Right.
I like Atlanta. Another stat, when a team scores 39 or more and loses, they cover their next game. It's like 78% of the time.
Okay.
I would prefer to be giving up 2.5, not 3.5. Maybe if I'm lucky by game day, it'll be 2.5, but I'll take Atlanta. Vegas in New England, the line is 547.5. We both like New England in this game, so we really don't have to talk about it much. The LA Rams traveling to Buffalo. Buffalo is a 3-point favorite, and the over-under is 47. I have the over in this game.
You do.
What do you think about this game? Now, let me say this. So you got both the San Francisco 49ers and the Rams playing back-to-back games on the East Coast.
Right.
San Francisco spent the week in West Virginia practicing. Why West Virginia? Who knows? Lord knows I wouldn't want to spend a week in West Virginia. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. The Rams flew home back to LA and are having to fly back to Buffalo.
Now that you said that, I mean, I was going to pick Buffalo anyways to win this game. But now that you say that, now I'm really going to pick Buffalo to win this game.
All right. So, yeah, the Rams, beat Dallas in week 1 on a game that they could have easily lost. They got the benefit of a pass interference call on Dallas late in that game that could have, or a non-pass interference call that could have easily been called pass interference.
Right.
And last week they played the Eagles, and the Eagles' defense is absolutely atrocious.
Right.
The one thing that you could say about the Rams is they run a lot of misdirection plays. 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game, they will run plays where you would swear they're going right and they go left, or vice versa, just by the formations. So they have a lot of trickeration. I think Buffalo wins the game as well. I think Buffalo's for real. I said at the beginning when we did our predictions that I said Buffalo's going to be winning the East this year. I think they are for real. Now, granted, they've beat 2 easy teams. They beat the Dolphins and they beat the Jets.
Woo!
Yes. So now they're playing a better team, but a team that has to play on the East Coast back-to-back weeks, flying across the country twice.
Yeah,
But I like the over in this game. I think there will be points scored on both sides. Washington going on the road back-to-back weeks to Cleveland. Cleveland is a touchdown favorite, and the over-under is 45.
This is a tough game to predict. Which Washington's going to show up? Week 1 Washington or Week 2 Washington?
Yeah.
If Week 1 Washington shows up, I'm not going to say they're going to win the game, but they would cover.
Yeah.
If Week 2 Washington shows up, just put all your money on the Browns.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this. If that line stays 7, I will be betting this game.
Taking
the Washington football team.
I love that name. The Washington. And they're keeping it, too.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they will. I think they'll come up with something else. They should just call themselves the Washington Phatts.
The White Skins. I don't know.
The Washington Phatts. Cleveland just tends to fuck things up where they don't win games by more than a touchdown.
Where this should be an easy win.
They should have won last week's game by double digits easy, and they won by 5. So as long as it stays at a touchdown or more, I will take Washington. Houston going on the road as a 4.5 point underdog to Pittsburgh. I hate this game, can't stand this game. I have no opinion on this game. You took Pittsburgh.
I did take Pittsburgh.
Any idea why?
Houston haven't been playing that good.
They're not. And
It
but
play that good.
But when you say they're not playing that good, who was their first 2 games against?
Kansas City and Baltimore.
Yes. The 2 teams that are favored to win the Super Bowl.
Good draw. Good draw.
That's kind of like, Nebraska starting out the season with Ohio State and then Wisconsin in the Big Ten. And then in week 4, they have to play Penn State.
Isn't that what they're doing? Hey, they have Northwestern week 3.
Woo!
That's a win.
Maybe. So, yeah, last week, Pittsburgh was a favorite against Denver. They should have blown out Denver.
Hey, it's hard to play in the Mile High City.
Pittsburgh was at home. Dumbass.
Oh, never mind. Where did they play week 1?
Pittsburgh was on the road at the Giants.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Pittsburgh didn't cover that, or did they? Yeah, they covered that game late. No, they didn't. They didn't cover that game either.
Well, they're going to cover this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to think about playing that game. I mean, they should have beat Denver by double digits. Denver has all these injuries. Their best wide receiver was out. Their best defensive player was out. Their starting quarterback got injured in the first quarter, and they still hung around in that game to lose by 4, I believe it was, and they had a chance to win.
Yeah.
But that's what Pittsburgh does. When they should win easily, they tend not to. Carolina going on the road to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under is 44. Any opinion?
No.
All right. I don't have much of an opinion this game either. You know, I don't know, for those of you that weren't really watching, they almost beat the Chiefs. It took the Chiefs field goal kicker 3 tries from 50-plus yards to win the game.
He made all 3 of them.
He did make all 3 of them. The first one, there was a penalty on Kansas City. So it moved it from 53 to 58. Then they called timeout. And then he made it. Yes, he made all 3.
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers happen to have Kansas City's number. I'm not saying that they beat them, but they always give them a good game. Kansas City has trouble covering the number against the Chargers for some reason. Chargers just match up well against them. With that being said, I think the line is a little deflated because of that. Don't know what quarterback is starting yet. Tyrod Taylor was a late scratch. Supposedly he was getting a shot, and the trainer punctured his lung. Something like that. That's what I heard. If that's true or not, who knows?
What?
But yes, he was a late scratch, and they had to take him to the hospital with a chest injury. Supposedly he was getting a shot, and as he was getting the shot, the trainer who was giving him a shot punctured his lung with the needle.
Where are you getting a shot there?
I don't know. Maybe it was to protect his ribs or something, because his ribs are sore. I don't know.
Like, what?
I have no idea.
Stop ribs.
I have no idea. Carolina is a mess. They're young.
They have Gross Matos.
They are 0-2 so far. Probably going to go 0-3, but I don't like that game at 6.5. Now my team, who is statistically the worst team in football.
They're gonna be the worst team in football.
The Jets. Going on the road as a 12-point underdog at Indy. The over-under is 44.
I wouldn't be surprised if Indy covered that.
Neither would I.
As much as I hate to say it to you, your team sucks.
They do. They need, but they're also chock full of injuries, too.
That's
I mean,
who's your favorite coach? Best coach ever.
Him and Rich Kotite. Oh, God, they're like tied. I mean, there's no doubt Matt Gates, to me, is going to be out no later than the end of this year, if not the middle of the year. Yeah, they have a ton of injuries. I heard something interesting today, and let me get your opinion on this. Now, obviously, you don't follow it as much as I do. But, their starting quarterback, Sam Darnold, from USC, he hasn't really gotten any better.
No.
And I don't think it's because of him. I think he's just had terrible coaching.
Yeah, probably.
Should the Jets, if the Jets finish as the worst team in the league and get the number 1 draft pick, should they say goodbye to Sam Darnold and pick Trevor Lawrence?
I think they could get a really good player out of it. Like if you take Trevor Lawrence and then trade one of them.
Well, you're kind of thinking along my line. I would not take Trevor Lawrence. I would trade the draft pick to get a bunch of picks and some players.
Just to get players.
I mean, you could probably get like one or two good players off of a team, their number one draft choice this year, and maybe their following 2 years number 2 draft choices, all for Trevor Lawrence. And that's what the Jets need. They need good players because they have none.
Literally just going to ask you, would it be smart for them to take Trevor Lawrence and do what happened in 2004 with the Giants and San Diego with Manning and Rivers? They picked Manning and then traded Manning.
They did, but
River and a bunch of picks.
But Eli Manning basically said to San Diego, if you draft me, I am not playing.
Yeah, I know he said that.
I'm going to sit out the year. So they kind of, gave him no choice.
So would it be more influential to draft Trevor Lawrence and then trade him, or just trade the number 1 pick?
It depends what all you're offered.
True.
I mean,
because I would assume that would be on the table. We draft Trevor Lawrence and then we'll give you him
sure
this, or you just get the first pick and we get this.
Yeah. But yes, if I'm the Jets and I get the number 1 pick, I do not draft Trevor Lawrence with the idea of keeping him. I think Sam Darnold could be a good quarterback if he has the right coaching.
I'd say he was good at USC.
Yes.
He won the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. He played Penn State, and we all know how Penn State plays in the fourth quarter when they have the lead.
State basketball.
Tampa Bay going on the road to Mile High Stadium as a 6-point road favorite at Denver, over under 43.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any opinion?
I think Tampa Bay is going to win that game. I wouldn't be surprised if they covered, but
Okay.
all these injuries.
I'm not going to bet the game, but in the pool where I got to pick everything, I'll probably take Denver. Well, I don't know. In my pool, which uses Tuesday's line, it's 4.5. So
Really? You're going to take Denver?
It's so.
What?
I mean, Tampa Bay's defense really hasn't impressed me yet in the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
So the question is, well, also, actually, no, I believe Denver's going to have to start their backup quarterback again. If that's the case, that's probably why the line jumped a couple.
So you just told me Denver had how many injuries?
Yes.
And you're going to take Denver.
Well, again, because it's going to Mile High early in the season.
Yeah.
I don't have to have them win the game. I have to have them lose by less than a touchdown at 6.5. 6.5 is a lot of points on the road. The one game we disagree on, Dallas as a 5.5-point underdog going to Seattle. The over-under is a track meet, 56.5. The highest over-under of the week, and there's some really good games coming yet that we haven't discussed yet. Right. So why do you like Seattle?
Well, I watched them play New England last week. I actually watched that whole game.
I did not. I went to bed at halftime.
I watched that entire game. I watched them try to blow it. There was a minute or so, between a minute and 2 minutes, and Cam Newton's on his own 20. There's no reason why he should be able to drive the field.
Okay.
But otherwise, Seattle looked pretty good. I don't know how good that defense is.
They have looked well. They gave up 39 to Atlanta.
So that tells me a lot.
But you know what? Seattle gave up 30-some points to Atlanta too, I believe.
Okay. So I think Seattle could put up, around between 30 and 40. It's just, what are they going to give up?
Okay. I took Dallas for the simple fact that Dallas tends to cover games when they're an underdog.
Okay.
The rule for Dallas was always, for years, bet against them when they're the favorite and bet on them when they're the underdog.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Arizona at home to Detroit. Arizona is a 6-point favorite, over under 55.5. So another track meet game. Arizona surprising 2-0. Do they go 3-0?
3-0, but they're not going to cover that.
Okay. I'm hoping for a super high scoring game because Arizona's quarterback is my fantasy football quarterback.
The Midgemite.
And he's gotten me buku points the first 2 weeks.
The Midgemite.
Yeah, which is fine because he could scramble all over the field. He could.
I had to hear my roommate yell and complain that Dak Prescott got like 4 touchdowns. He still won in fantasy because one of his wide receivers got him like 17 points in his league. That's a lot.
Yes.
Their league, if you get 150 points, that's pretty good.
Yes.
But I had to listening to him here complain about Dak Prescott.
I lost last week, because I have Saquon Barkley and he got hurt, and Julio Jones, as they put up 39 points, he got me like 7 points. So I ended up losing by like 30 to Skip Moyer.
Yep.
Where if Saquon stays in the game and Julio just catches 1 touchdown pass, I easily beat him.
Right.
I've won that league the last 2 years, by the way. Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I will not bet it at the start, but if Detroit is winning at the half, I will definitely put a second-half bet on Arizona. Without a doubt. Interesting. When teams have a 10 or more point lead in the game, they win, I think the stat was 82 or 83% of the time. Matt Patricia, the coach of the Lions, in his 2+ seasons, he's had a 10-point lead 8 times so far. He is 2-6. Yes. 2-6.
Good job.
So, actually, now that live betting is here, if Detroit goes up by 10 at any time in that game, I will live bet Arizona right then and there to win the game straight up. Without a doubt. No doubt in my mind. If they go down by double digits, I will take Arizona on a live bet.
All right.
All right?
Only 2 minutes to go. I swear to God, if you don't bet it.
They usually don't put up live bets that late in the game. Especially if it's more than a 1-score game. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay going on the road as a 3-point underdog to New Orleans. Over under 53.
You picked this game, so
I did.
Tell me why you like it.
I think Drew Brees is past his prime.
You told me at the beginning of the year New Orleans might win the Super Bowl.
I did. Drew Brees is past his prime. He's not throwing the ball downfield. Everything is dink and doink, dink and doink, dink and doink. Doesn't mean they can't win that way, but Green Bay seems to be playing with anger this year. Like, they got up big on Minnesota and still tried to score points. They got up big on Detroit and still tried to score points. I could see Green Bay winning this game.
That'd be nice.
I could see them winning. You have at 53. I could also see that game going over.
That was going to be my only input. I think it could go over.
All right. And then we go to Monday Night Football. This is very interesting. Kansas City is at Baltimore. This game opened Baltimore as a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
It is up to 4.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Over under 55.
So why does this surprise you?
Well, A, you got the 2 best teams in football. This game could go a long way in deciding who wins the Super Bowl.
I think I already know. Actually, I think I might know why it's 4.
Well, A, I think it's an overreaction to Kansas City playing a tough game last week.
That's what I was gonna say. People are thinking, "Oh, Kansas City played a crap game last week."
Yes.
Baltimore.
Yes.
At 2.5, I would take Baltimore. At 4, I don't know.
At 4, I'm taking Kansas City.
Because I like that field goal. Like, that 3 points is
Yes.
right where I think it might finish.
Let's also remember, with the change this year to 7 playoff teams, only the top seed gets a bye.
Right.
This game is probably going to go a long way in deciding who gets that bye in the AFC.
This game might decide who gets the bye in the AFC.
Yes. 4, I just think is too many. If it's still 4 at game time, I will take Kansas City. Over under 55. I think you're probably right around the number there.
Yeah.
But who knows? And that is all the games for week 3. So to recap, the Phatts Fantastic 5, the non-genetically proven son likes oops, that's me. Likes the Tennessee Volunteers giving 3. The over in tonight's game, Jacksonville, Miami, 48.5. The Patriots -5. The Steelers -4. Seattle -5.5. I like the Giants getting 4, New England giving 5, the over in the Rams-Buffalo game at 47, Dallas getting 5.5, and Green Bay getting 3. So, we will go over those games on Tuesday. Before we leave, let me just do this.
Holy fucking shit, you guys! I'm driving your car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died! Fuck! Could this year get any fucking worse? Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021! Ah!
Only because I can. Only because I can. That's going to live in infamy.
2021.
Do you have our exit music ready? Probably not.
Oh, am I supposed to?
Well, you haven't sent it to me yet.
There is no exit music. I just take the end of the other one.
Well, you have to cut it and send it to me.
Okay.
Because I probably don't have the means to do that. Actually, I think I do.
It's literally from second 48.
And by the way, you have to resend it to me anyway. Like, if you go back and watch the beginning of the show, you'll see where it's all muffled until the very end.
Oh.
So, try to figure out what's going on with that and send it to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. Get ready for the debates Tuesday night. Have your popcorn ready. You definitely want to be tuned in to Phatts TV while you're watching the debate to get commentary from yours truly. And if the non-genetically proven son joins me. What's your plans for the weekend? Golf. Unless we go to the rally.
If we go to the rally, I'll probably drive down to Maryland Sunday.
Okay.
Because I'll be halfway there anyways.
Yes. I'll be in Palmyra Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
Like fun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Go watch the football game if you are so inclined. Until then, WWG1.
WGA.
Hey, you say that with so much excitement.
WGA.
See ya.